Oh, look at that. We are live on the Side Quest, your wonderful journey into the beautiful world of video games, geek culture, and where the two doth meet. I am one of your lovely, luscious, delicious hosts, Dolly. It's me. How's it going, everybody? What's up? And this lovely young gentleman here next to me is the one, the only, the band from Twitter, the Shadow Band, JJ Holder. I love that you could say you've been shadow banned. Awesome.
Who knows why? I tend to tell a lot
Could
of
be like Corey. Corey gets shadow banned all the
yeah,
time.
but Corey actually does stuff to get shadow banned.
True.
Actively goes out of his way.
So
Uh,
he wants. It's usually something akin to, I want all straight males dead,
yeah,
or I hope something blows up. Whatever. Just Corey.
yeah,
Corey
yeah,
being Corey.
yeah.
Corey.
I was actively blocked by the president of the United States at one point, so I guess
You lucky.
yeah. No, it's
Oh,
sweet.
good.
Because
Good.
everyone's an idiot on that website, and it just
Yeah.
like they'll quote retweet and like why
Yeah.
stop
Yeah.
like
Yep.
it's
I
like
hate the
no,
quote retweets unless I'm doing it to promote this
yeah.
podcast, which I just did.
Just
I hate,
take a screenshot. That way you're
yeah,
not giving them any.
yep,
Especially nowadays
exactly.
where where you can earn money for
Yeah,
interactions. Like
yeah,
just
yup, for sure, for sure. You're hydrating. I too am hydrating with my coffee. I'm just gonna drink my coffee here.
well known hydration fluid coffee.
Look at that. Oh, what blue and amazing blue. Well, oh
Yeah,
yeah, Michigan. Yeah, yeah, it's cool. The
yeah,
state that I'm in, Michigan.
yeah.
What state are you in, JJ?
Washington.
Yeah, we
Yeah.
beat you on a
Yeah.
Monday.
Oh
Fun,
yeah, it
fun and
was
friendly.
it was
It was a sport game. It was a
it was
sport.
a throttling. It was nothing short
It
of a
was fun.
But the
Yes,
next
I
day,
was
people were like,
elated.
there was a local place said, "Hey, if you look at our Washington Huskies cookies, if you just flip them upside down, they look kind of like
True.
M's.
That's
And if you
true.
squint hard enough, purple can look blue. So come and get your Michigan cookies." That's
That's smart. Very smart. That's funny. That's awesome. So a little bit of a celebratory mood. And then of course we did such a good job that your coach decided to leave and go to
yeah.
Coach
Go.
Alabama. Perfect.
Yeah, but we've lost that coach. We lost Pete Carroll with the Seahawks.
It's a rough week for you guys.
It's a rough week always in Seattle sports. It's never
Yep.
easy.
Yep. But we're not going to talk any more about sports. We are going to talk about video games and all the fun video game stuff that has been happening. It's actually been a long time since we've directly talked news. So, yeah, I just want to hit the elephant in the room. I know everyone's talking about it, and that's Bobby Kotick is gone.
Okay, yay. Okay,
Quite
moving on.
literally, no, moving on. Speaking of not giving anybody quote tweets, that's the most we're going to give somebody. Conversation before the show started. No, we're going to move into some interesting news. We're just going to kind of blast through. It's Saturday.
Yeah.
We know you people are out and about or at home doing stuff. Hey, Exaggeration. Yeah. That's yeah, I know. Sorry. We know people are snowed in. A lot of us are snowed in or frozen in. I don't know what the weather's like for you, but my snowblower died. So I was offering free shoveling classes to everybody in my neighborhood to come on by, bring your shovel. I'll teach you guys how to shovel. Just get in my driveway and I'll give you pointers and you guys can all learn. Didn't work. So yeah, you're with us. You're stuck with us.
Yeah.
So we're going to talk about things that we want to talk about.
First, no, because we're not going to be talking about movies in any way, shape, or form.
Correct. I did catch it. I will say I started one of those movie lists things that everybody does. I'm not going to post about it anywhere, but I have a media I've consumed in 2024 list going from like, I was going to have one for movies separately from like TV series, series separately. And I thought nobody has that much time to watch that much content and still be productive, unless you're Hideo Kojima, who I'm convinced that only watches movies, because I think he posted his goal is to watch one movie a day, and he was sad that he only watched like 265 movies last year. And I'm like, how do you pull that off? Don't you work? Is that a part of working? I mean, maybe for him.
And he still reads like
Yeah, he
dozens of
reads
books.
and he plays games and he
Yeah.
reads and does podcasts
Does
and
he play
listens to
games?
music.
I've
Yeah,
never heard
probably not.
Kojima talk about
Probably
a
not.
video game other than his own
True.
ever.
He gives tours. He gives a lot of tours to the office. But one company I don't think he's worked with, but maybe down the line. But I know a company that you and I like, at least for their retro games, and that's our good friends at Sega. Who we didn't talk about this right around the Game Awards because everyone fell asleep. But Sega back then announced a bunch of games. They showed that video, Crazy Taxi, Golden Axe, blah blah blah. Well, apparently some more info has leaked out, and some of that includes Neon Genesis Evangelion, a new game, Panzer Dragoon, a new game in that series, and so Sega, I guess, from the way the story goes, Insider Gaming posted they greenlit about 10 or 11 games back in 2020 and 2021, and these 5 are the first that have been sort of revealed. But even though Sega even said to expect more, I guess those other 2 or 3 are also on the way, which is kind of cool. I'm always for bringing back, bringing back game series because it just gives gives some more history for the folks that didn't get a chance to play them the first time. But they could be cool and then they can go horribly wrong. Like that Golden Axe game looked pretty nasty, and that Contra game, I know Way Forward's working on it, but I don't like the visual style. But hey, it's always fun. And I mean, are you looking forward to any of these that have been announced, or any other Sega games you would like to see come back?
I liked the look of the Shinobi game. That looked good. I mean, the Golden Axe game didn't look great. I'm not the Jet Set. I've never been a huge fan of.
Sure.
It's not like Streets of Rage. Like there was a very recent Streets of Rage game that
like
was really
2 years
good.
ago. Yeah, 1 or 2 years ago. Just literally.
So it's like that doesn't excite me, but like I like Streets of Rage. So why the?
I think these were very safe to go with, like Golden Axe.
If I wanted something like, I would like them to make a modernized version of some of their different who am I thinking of? Like Afterburner or make a new
give me a new Phantasy Star. Throw money into that.
Yeah, Kid Chameleon, make one of those.
Kid Chameleon would be a good one.
Alex Kidd, I guess, would be interesting, like modern day takes on this. I have no idea. Like, I don't think of. I mean, it is, but at the same time, like you said the Evangelion game.
Yeah.
I don't know.
It's a Saturn game. I don't remember anything
about it. It was a Saturn game, but like it's like, so what? Like, okay, make it like Eva doesn't adapt to a game just because it's giant robots. Like it doesn't like it's a different kind of story.
I played the Eva game that matters, which is the pachinko game. I played
that. Yeah, exactly. Like
that's the one that everybody wants to play.
Yeah. What was? I'm trying to think. There's something like. There's some weird like Sega shit that would be. It's not coming to me. There was something I was thinking of, but make some sort of Sega racing game, like
virtual
Daytona,
racing.
Virtua Racing. Bring that back or something like.
Bring the Virtua series back, Virtua Racing and Virtua Fighter. Just bring it back. I'm okay with it. The heck was there Virtua Fishing? There probably was. I don't know.
No, but they did have Sega Bass Fishing.
Okay, there you go. Bring that.
Virtua Tennis was.
Yeah, that's right.
Eternal Champions, like.
Why not?
I would love to see them bring back Eternal Champions in some way, shape, or form. But like, again, that's such a niche thing that I don't even know. But to be fair, so is Jet Set Radio. Like,
sure.
It's hard to get a feel for some things because we're so like in the weeds when it comes to gaming stuff. It's like, of course we know what Jet Set Radio is. I'm pretty sure if I asked, half my friends, they wouldn't remember Jet Grind Radio or something like.
They only know it. That's like the Earthbound joke. Like Earthbound fan
Excited to play Earthbound for the first time. Yeah.
Jet Set, Jet Grinder the same way. Yeah, right. Or Eternal Champions is a good one, I think, because fighting games are in. Like fighting games are back, and you could almost throw something out there. People will be like, "All right, cool. I'll lop it up," because every fighting game that's come out has been received pretty well. Even, I mean, unless you're putting on Switch, don't bother. Mortal Kombat issues, we know that, but for the most part, every fighting game that's come out recently has been received really well. I mean, people like that arcade experience, and I think Eternal Champions would fit in there. Virtua Fighter,
Eternal Champions is such Eternal Champions was such a goofy ass game. It was like Sega's attempt to, like how Virtua Fighter was like, this is our 3D Street Fighter, where Eternal Champions was their Mortal Kombat. Like it's Sega dipping their beak in both ends of the
give me like Outrun spectrum.
Yeah, Outrun, man.
Outrun would be great, man.
Outrun for the longest time was like my favorite arcade game, period. Like like Outrun and Road Blasters, like those two games were just like
Herzog's Way. Herzog's Way. But I think Sega's got a good enough history that they just kind of chimed in with those those big ones. I mean, Altered Beast, right? Whatever.
Altered Beast.
But so there we go. Yeah, that's we got games on the way. And
it covers a shock, but Sega is working on games.
You know who else is working on games? Xbox is working on games, and they have an Xbox Developer Direct happening this week, January 18th, which is midweek, Tuesday?
Yeah.
Tuesday.
Wait, no, not Tuesday.
Tuesday?
Is it Tuesday?
Is it Tuesday?
Today's the 13th.
I'm checking the calendar. It is, Thursday.
Thursday,
wow,
okay.
Way off.
Yeah.
The
other T day.
The other T day. I knew it was Turkey Day. But they got the Developer Direct, which they announced. They're going to share Oxide's work, Obsidian. They got Ninja Theory and Machine Games. I mean, obviously, what is it?
Machine Games.
So you got Senua's Saga, which we know that one was coming. We have Avowed. They're going to talk more of that. We got the big one is the Indiana Jones game, and then there's Ara, the turn-based strategy game, which I don't know a single that has not bubbled up to me at all.
Well, I mean, even the Indiana Jones game only had a teaser like 3 years ago, and then that was it.
But that is, the rumors are going to announce the release date for that, and it's supposed to be this year. So that is big rumor. But are you excited for? I'm looking forward to Hellblade 2. I'm really kind of. I didn't play the first one, but the first game always seemed like something that I could get into because of how ethereal the premise behind it was, and the stuff they've shown for the sequel looks fantastic. And obviously the visual quality looks terrific. And then Avowed is like another RPG. Like there are millions of these styles coming out. I think it'll find an audience. It has an audience already.
Yeah, the thing about all 4 of these are interesting to see stuff about. Like, Hellblade 2 is going to be probably the best game of the 4, if I had to guess. But like,
I think it's going to be the most recent. The next game to come out is Hellblade.
And like Ara is going to. I don't know much about that game, so it'll be nice to see something. And like Avowed is just, that's a game for somebody. Like it's an Obsidian.
So we know, we know Avowed and we know Hellblade 2 are coming out this year. Microsoft Microsoft said that last June that both of those were on tap this year. I don't know if Ara was.
I can't imagine Ara not being this year because there's kind of nothing special about it. To like show it off here and then say have it come out in 2 years, like it's just like a Civ game, it's historical strategy. So like it's the Indiana Jones game is the one that I
want to talk about. Tell me your thoughts on this and what you would want it to be.
I mean,
you want it to be like Wet. Remember Wet?
Yeah, yeah. No, I don't know. That's the thing with like Indiana Jones as a character is that they may be sort of action movies, but it's not like they're action packed.
Right.
The best Indiana Jones games were the LucasArts point and click adventures.
They were fantastic.
Those are all absolutely
Yep.
incredible games across the board. Like even the Last Crusade one, which was like, you know, when they're adapting a movie into a point and click adventure, like it worked really well. And, you know, Fate of Atlantis and things like that. When they went to other gun, because there are like third person action games that are actually kind of okay of Indiana Jones. They're not great, but you know, they're fun little. I feel like what I want from an Indiana Jones game is a Perfect 7 game.
Okay.
I don't want them to swing for the fences. I don't want them to make some sort of weird slow slog of like a Naughty Dog style game in the Indiana Jones way, or even a Tomb Raider game. I just want sort of a mind-numbing like action game with Indiana Jones stuff where you're just kind of fighting Nazis and solving puzzles and stuff. But I don't want it to be slow. I don't want a great game out of it, but like I don't know what Machine Games is going to do. Like, you think about the games,
So. Is it a Wolfenstein like? I don't know. No, I don't want it to be. I don't know if I want it to be first person, but it probably will be. I'm guessing first person. It probably will be.
Because the thing that they're like, because like Wolfenstein does a really good job at sort of making you feel like the character instead of making you the character. Like Doom makes you the Space Marine, whereas Wolfenstein makes you BJ Blazkowicz. You feel like you're doing the stuff that like it doesn't make you feel like you're in that role. It makes you feel like you're the director of that character or something like you. But so I mean, like it can work from the way they make games perspective, but I don't know. I want to be. I'm excited for it because I'm an Indiana Jones lunatic. I'm a Crystal Skull apologist kind of guy, but I don't know. At the end of the day,
Sorry.
At the end of the day, I just like I can't imagine them making a great Indiana Jones game. It's hard to adapt that kind of thing historically into an action game, but if it were up to me, I would just want them to make really like if you gave me a budget and they said, JJ, what kind of Indiana Jones game do you want? I want a hand-drawn 2D Metroidvania.
Oh God, yeah.
Indiana Jones game.
that would be fantastic. That would be fantastic.
But like but like nobody makes those games. Like do you know what I thought would have been the best idea when it came to making like new Star Wars games? Just give Way Forward the go ahead to make Super Star Wars sequels. Like make the prequel games and make the sequel trilogies into Super Star Wars games. That way you can have all 9 movies in the you got Super Star Wars, Super Empire, Super Return of the Jedi, and then having like Super Force Awakens, Super Attack of the Clones and shit would be
now by the way, I know those games are available on a bunch of different platforms and such, but man, wouldn't it be great for Digital Eclipse to go and create a collection of those NES, the Super NES, Genesis, Star Wars? That'd be so good.
I would love a nice hefty Super Star.
Oh man,
a Super Star Wars collection, like with the like where you get the Super Nintendo games and then you get the Game Boy counterparts.
I was gonna say the Game Boy counterparts. Yup.
Limited Run did a pretty good job at doing some of the because like I got one of their collector's editions of the Game Boy Star Wars game, which I don't know. It's not a good game, but I have very, 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 very fond memories of it. So when they did the NES version and the Game Boy version, I was like, I love that Game Boy game. I spent a lot of time playing it and never beating it as a kid because all of the Star Wars games are brutal. And like it's game, and I was not good at the Game Boy games. were like just ridiculous anyway. So yeah, They may be easy, but like they made them so convoluted and confusing that it's just easy to get like, what am I doing?
An Indiana Jones game in that style would be pretty dope. I totally agree with you.
Yeah.
I think I would love a lot of like puzzle solving.
Yeah, that's kind of
give me like exploration and puzzle solving and like less action. I don't want to be like shoot Nazis all the time.
I don't want it to. I don't.
By the way, Wolfenstein and Indiana Jones are probably in the same universe because they're always shooting Nazis. So it's
because that's always like when you're Uncharted, when you like solve a puzzle and then immediately after solving a puzzle. Right. 1,000 goons descend upon you from the roof.
Undead.
People weren't supposed to be here for 150,000 years.
And then all of a sudden, they're coming out of the woodwork.
Yeah, it's like great.
And it took you just incredible circumstances to get there. And then
they just blow the roof off the place, and here they are.
Blow the roof off, or they're there right behind you. They beat you to it, even though you like broke every bridge along the way. But I would like more exploration and more puzzles and that kind of stuff to really make it that kind of. We'll find out on Thursday.
I want to find maps. I want to use torches. I want to run. I want to dodge booby traps. I want that as opposed to shooting Nazis because it's going to be Nazis. I can't wait to see what the.
You think it'll be aliens with crystal skulls? Just kidding.
Yeah, but I can't wait to see what the supernatural element is because that's the whole thing. Like there hasn't been a single Indiana Jones movie that hasn't had a
spoiler
weird weird supernatural element. So
the other big rumors are that we're gonna have a new multi-plat game announced for coming from Xbox Studios, and that could either be Hi-Fi Rush or was the pirate game? Sea
of Thieves.
Sea of Thieves. I want to say Sea of Stars. Sea of Stars. Sea of Thieves, or Hi-Fi Rush, or both. It could really be both coming out.
I think you're gonna get Sea of Thieves on the PS5 and Hi-Fi Rush on the Switch. That'll be.
I think so. Yeah. I think Sea of Thieves is too big for Switch to pull off, but. Hi-Fi Rush
and that kind of game isn't marketable on the Switch. Like those massive multiplayer kind of experiences don't really play on the Switch, especially because it's a portable system. So you're not guaranteed to have an internet connection. So you don't see a lot of massive multiplayer things. I mean, Fortnite's on that, but that's Fortnite defies all explanation for a lot of people.
For sure. But it's so those are some rumors. I'd be okay with Hi-Fi Rush on the Switch. Like you said, I think those are good placements for those platforms. And I think I know there's always there's speaking of goons, there's console goons out there like, hey, you can't put the game from my console on your console. Hey, let's fight. But you gotta remember, Microsoft, now the largest company in the world as of Friday night, as of yesterday after markets closed, beating out Apple. They want to get their games on as many platforms as possible. They're more and more moving into not necessarily a publishing company, but a Game Pass and content delivery company. So
and here's the thing, like
get a taste.
And here's the thing. Sea of Thieves has been going on for years and years now. It's a good game. It is a good game. But it's kind of like peaked out. It's not gaining new players because it's been going for so long. It's on Game Pass. Totally. It's sort of reached. So if you release it on the PlayStation 5, you just kind of now boom, bump it up a little bit, get some more players in there because that's a game that is a live service game that lives and dies by players being online at all times. So why not add a whole new run of people onto it? It's it's
agree.
At the end of its sort of expectancy right now. Give it a boost in its arms. It's it's like Rare's doing a whole lot.
It's like Sony's strategy right now of waiting to put their games on the PC until after it's run a gambit through PlayStation consoles and platforms, and then they put it on PC for Taylor. So that Taylor can play it, and they get a ton more purchases, and everyone's like, "Oh, why did they wait so long?" Well, there is strategy to that, and Microsoft is employing the same strategy with their games, and they're doing it because so far it's been fiscally smart to do so for these companies. Third-party publishers are different. Third-party publishers want to get it on as many platforms at once. But you look at like one of the games that I'll be talking about. Let's transition into games that we've been playing. The game that I've been playing initially started as a Switch exclusive. The first game did, and that was Octopath Traveler. Nintendo did a bunch of marketing, co-marketing. Obviously, Square Enix bought placement in those directs and on the eShop and worked with Nintendo on the marketing side. And Nintendo marketed the hell of it too through their socials and all over the place. Then eventually it released on PCs and PlayStation and Xbox like a year plus 2 years after it launched on the Switch. Perfectly fine, because Nintendo, Square Enix had made all the money they could on the Switch, and then it went on to other consoles. Because Nintendo, I think, actually published Octopath Traveler when it launched on if I remember correctly, when it launched on the Switch. And so Octopath Traveler 2 comes out, and it's only, I think it's Nintendo and PlayStation at launch, but now it's on all the other platforms, PC. Again, the co-marketing, co-branding aspect of things, Monster Hunter, same way. If you're Nintendo poured a bunch of money into to help get the game specifically for Switch first, like Sony did with Square Enix on Final Fantasy Remake. That was specifically, remember, it was Sony pumping money into Final Fantasy VII Remake so that it would be launching exclusively on PlayStation for however long it was before it finally launched on PC and then maybe Switch 2 in the future. But it's the way that business is done. And I know people get pissed off, but whatever. Anyway, so I've been playing Octopath Traveler 2, getting back in it. I have been playing Mario Wonder because I'm trying to go back into it and kind of finish up all the loose ends. There are some sections which are just painful. Just absolutely. And like I found myself playing one. Did you clear out every level in Mario Wonder, by the way?
No, I got close. Okay. I'm kind of focused on the like the special stages right now.
Yeah. The special world. Yeah, listen, everyone knows there's a special one. But no, I think, and I don't know if it was a special stage or not. I can't remember, but it was the one where you become a Goomba, and it's towards a later portion of the game. You become a Goomba, and you have to walk across the bouncy mushrooms to bounce the mushroom floating platform, and the Goomba doesn't really jump. It can kind of do a very light little bounce, and it doesn't pick up a lot of speed. And I probably played that alone for like an hour just to finally get through that stage, and get the seed at the end, the Wonder Seed, whatever it was. But I spent a lot of time doing that. But yeah, Octopath Traveler 2, I like to balance these. I'm again doing, I mentioned before, my media consumption, and I'm definitely going through the backlog and getting some things knocked out of the way, mostly because I think after this, after I get enough of Octopath Traveler 2, like this weekend, I'm going to hop back into Final Fantasy VII Remake and try to plow through that before the game comes out at the end of February. There's plenty of stuff. So that's what I've been kind of just chipping away at, some games that have been sitting in my backlog from the last couple of years, and obviously Mario. I finished Mario RPG, and I just kind of felt like, whatever. Yeah. I don't need to go back to it. But give me I know Paper Mario, which is coming out. The second Paper Mario game is coming out soon. But the original Paper Mario was Mario RPG 2 in Japan. But give me an actual new Super Mario RPG game with more humor, same type of feel, a little bit more modernized controls. I think would be a lot of fun. But that being said, I am actually more interested in what you've been playing, and I'm going to share this vidya because we got a why am I still showing that? We got a code a little while back, and now I'm going to share the screen for come on, do that. There it is. This one. Hey, you guys like Metroidvanias? You guys like bloody Metroidvanias?
PAX West 2022 Team Choice Award recipient, Cookie Cutter.
There it is.
Yeah, baby. No, Cookie Cutter. Yeah, I saw this at PAX. Rogue had a huge booth at PAX that year, and it was I gave 2 games the Team Choice where I gave this and Dust and Neon.
Yeah.
Sprawl was there too, which I know Zach got
Yeah.
the review code for. A few the Benedict Fox game, which I know Stefan was a big
Stefan
fan
was
of.
so excited for that, and then he played it.
Then he played it. I told him, I said, listen, man, I played it at PAX. It's not good.
Yeah.
It's not
But Cookie Cutter looks good.
But Cookie Cutter, however, is fantastic.
Yeah.
Metroidvania.
Oh, sweet. I love to hear it.
It's not without its faults, that's for sure. But that's not. It is a true blue Metroidvania. Like it is not doing much with the genre of gameplay wise. It is going through the pausing, looking at your map, seeing where you've been, seeing where you haven't been, seeing which direction you need to go, advancing, earning new skills that let you advance your thing. And it's all just painted with this punk aesthetic. You are a robot basically, so like there's it's a universe with where sort of robots became sort of tools basically. But they're military things kind of thing, but a scientist developed the main character and Cherry, and they eventually, like, she has big plans, but they eventually fall in love. And so they just sort of become a married couple. There's the scientist that created you. And it ends in tragedy, as you see here. He absolutely destroys, kidnaps the scientist to like finish her work, and Candy kind of gets rebuilt, or Cherry gets rebuilt, and kind of remembers but doesn't remember everything, and just you're going through Metroidvania stuff. It is gory. It has like glory kills from like Doom.
Oh, sweet.
Like,
so there's glory kills in there. Tell me a little bit. It looks like there's even like some of the same type of exploration in the hidden walls. And...
there's hidden walls. You go, and like things are destructible everywhere, and sometimes you'll find walls that you can destroy that have secrets hidden in them, which is usually just currency that you can use to upgrade skill sets and stuff, and use them to like enhance the weapons that you've got and stuff. And you get all kinds of weapons, like the chainsaw. It will always be my favorite. It's got some good glory kills going on for it.
So it very much Metroid style, Metroidvania. How does it control? Like the animation looks really cool, but
everything. It feels a little light, to be perfectly honest. It's a little floaty, but but you kind of pick it up real quick. This will come into one of my first complaints about in terms of gameplay, and it is not just me, it is a thing. And if you go to like their Twitter feed, they'll say, well, just get good kind of thing. But it has a parry, so it's the left bumper, and that's a parry, and the window for the parry is like we're talking like Street Fighter Alpha 3 kind of shit with it. It is so precise. And it's not like how you would read it in any other game is not how you read it here. You need to like they blink blue and then attack, and you have to do it after the blink, which like instead of when the blink is happening, and it's just incredibly difficult. Like, but it's also super OP. So like you're not supposed to master it. It's like you have to be a superb like speed run bullshit game master to sort of be able to master it. So like I get that, but it also
there to overpower your enemy. Yeah, that's wild.
Yeah. So it makes
I love how. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
No, I was gonna say, so it makes it a little tricky because you want to just get into the fray of things and be able to parry and just like beat the shit out, because it's not like Metroid or even Castlevania where it's really close combat for the most part. It's a lot of fists, punching, kicking. You can see like downward.
That's cool. So more melee.
It's more melee focused with like weapons. It's like, you get chainsaws and swords and stuff, but like there is a bullet thing that you can use. But like, okay, I want to go back for. I'm gonna tell you when to hit pause. Just hover over pause right here. Oh well, almost pause. Just when you can see a screen with the HUD. Not there. Right there. Right there. Yeah. So, okay, if you look at the upper left hand of the screen, you got your the pink bar is your HP. The white bar is your energy. That little the main thing is the big circle is your main weapon, or your main the one next to it.
Oh, this one right here.
That's sort of like not your main weapon, but it's like your power weapon.
Got it.
And like the little one is like your secondary weapon. And the numbers are like your currency that you've collected.
Okay.
So
seems simple enough.
Yeah. So that energy bar does two things. It's using your weapons. So every time you do the heavy attack, which is in this case, the green thing is a gauntlet that lets you throw like a huge punch.
Sure.
Or in another case, little one, like early on in the game, you get like a void bullet, which is like a concentrated bullet that you can fire for certain enemies. And it uses energy. Also, the energy can be used to heal. So if you stop and push down, the energy goes down and your health goes up. So
that's kind of a neat thing.
It's a neat mechanic. You always kind of have health to play with, as long as you can like not get hit, because if you get hit, it gets interrupted and you're low on health or whatever. But you also sacrifice being able to use your powerful attacks, which it's a dangerous game to play, like especially when one thing that they like to do a lot is lock you into monster closets, where you will go into a room and then you'll get an alert, and then you just have to beat a few waves of enemies, like some of the like mid-level enemies of the area you're in. So like, and some enemies have different weaknesses than others too. So like some of them are like, yeah, you want to use the bullet on these guys, but you want to use the gauntlet on these guys, and you also like have to learn their attack patterns. So it's like I jump over these guys, but I slide under these guys. It's just like, and like I said, every enemy has their own. I love the guitar, man. It's so
I was gonna say that like a guitar and
like
a cool punk rock aesthetic to this.
Yeah, everything about it, like motorcycle. It's got some goofy enemies. Every enemy has a glory kill, and it gets just like
love it.
Yeah, some of them are just like ripping their tongues out. Like you pick up these bugs and tear them in half. You see that guy, you like take a belt and cinch it up all the way up to his throat until his head explodes.
Then you have like that penis looking guy that
and it's absolutely okay. So it's hard to recommend this game for a lot of people because it is just jam packed with like dick jokes and lewd humor and just grossness in general. You don't see it here, but so like you have a robot companion that sort of talks to you and her name's Regina.
Okay.
And she very, 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 very clearly resembles what her name rhymes with.
Yeah.
And there's jokes just scattered everywhere that are just.
We're not talking West Virginia, by the way.
Yeah. They're just pure filth. There's
Virginia,
there's like I
gotcha.
showed you earlier, and it's in this trailer somewhere.
I'm trying to find it.
You find a brick wall, and you break it down, and you find the Chozo, which is the bird aliens
in the Metroid games.
In the Metroid games, except it's a Chodo. And it's just this, like, it looks similar, but it's just
I'll let this play, and if we see it, we'll pause it.
It's just like a purple alien creature that's vaguely Chozo like, except its head is a dick, like a short fat dick, hence Chodo.
Like Chode.
It's a Chode.
It took me a second to get it.
It's funny. This is very much my kind of.
It looks like there's like a little cast, there's actual cast that you interact with too, right?
Yeah, there's cast. There's like a main hub, and you're doing stuff with people. You meet other characters, and it's like the overarching storyline is you rescuing your scientist wife,
sure,
while also regaining your memories of who you really are as a Denzels are what these robots are called. Yeah, the boss battles are huge and over the top and make you kind of master your moves that you got. I love the character design of everything, like especially Cherry. Like, this is a good character design. Sweet. It is not like tradition. It's like relative, like even they say like an unattractive like female lead in a game where she's just rocking a punk rock aesthetic. She's got those weird chunky legs. Look, there it is.
There's
the Chodo.
And he's sitting on his super inflated balls, by the way.
It's incredible. There's
really
one
cool
point,
aesthetic.
There's a poster in the background at one point of Hollow Knight, but it's called Glands Knight.
Oh, love it.
It just has it's Hollow Knight with a dick head, and its sword is a bloodied tampon.
There's fantastic humor in writing.
It's just so cool. It's funny. If you go to the Twitter too, the humor matches
cool.
what it is in the game. I love Metroid. I love Metroidvanias, and my favorite non-Metroid or Castlevania Metroidvania, just because gameplay wise it feels truer to what a Metroidvania is than a lot of other Metroidvanias are, and I love this I love this style of humor. Like I know it's not the type of humor that I bring to the table most of the time.
Sure.
Although I think if you're in the Discord, you can see it creep out once in a while. But like it is like you can make me laugh really hard with a nice, well-placed dick joke. And this is jam-packed full of just crude humor, and it's gory, which I absolutely like. I love gore when it's like goofy. That's why I like slasher flicks. That's why, Friday the 13th and Nightmare on Elm Street are always so fun for me, because it's like I don't like torture porn. I just like it when it's just like, yeah, of course he got like he got like beat with a pillowcase. Of course, that's what happened. But
so the developers Subcult Joint, and the publishers Road Games. This is the kind of game it's like it feels like, okay, you're gonna nail all the points of a good Metroidvania. There's good combat and stuff, but the animation feels like how they approach is what you really want to experience.
It's all hand-drawn style.
That's cool.
It's when I mentioned what I would want out of an Indiana Jones game earlier. This is the kind of what gave me just made me think that was like, this is what I like. This is the type of game I like. It's not like a pain in the ass, but it's difficult without being hard. Yeah.
Indiana Jones with Chodos.
Yeah, there we go. Those are the supernatural element of this game.
Nice. So there you go.
I'm going to come. I will say I did the parry thing. Another complaint I have that is just kind of a silly thing at the very. Okay, two things. Endgame gets unfair.
Okay.
Endgame is full of death pits everywhere, and it's kind of it's a little frustrating, but like whatever, that's their intent. Like that they want it to be frustrating, and it's like I think you could have done it a different way, but whatever. Early on, you are kind of presented with a choice after you do your first little thing of going right or left. Like, oh, you got this key, so now that opens up the right hand side, so you can move on and look for this thing for me. And you're like, okay, which instinctually makes you go to the right. And you could do that, and you can do that. Like the game isn't impossible from this point, but going left is preferable because it's easier, and you get multiple upgrades. You get the double jump, and you get the bullets. It's how horny is it is asked in the chat there. Surprisingly not super horny. It's just filled with dicks and tits and stuff, but none of it's horny. It's just it's punk rock aesthetic. It's just all
it's like it feels like it's purposeful punk rock style.
It's there to just be there and be like, make you go, what the fuck?
I like that. I like that.
Not to titillate. It's to just like, why not? Tits are cool, man.
Sweet.
Yeah. And that's awesome. That's what it's there for. So you can kind of screw yourself a bit. You make the game much easier for yourself if you travel left, but it doesn't give you a hint. Because like the game is sort of directing you to go this path, but I don't know. It seems kind of weird to me. Like because like you lock the other parts of the map away from you until later in the game. Like why give me agency at the beginning like this that can really kind of screw, because like getting a double jump and the void bullet really helps you in the long run, like early game stuff, and lets you traverse and kind of save yourself from bad jumps, because sometimes the platforming can be a little finicky. Like a weird overarching jump here that was like super easy may not work the same way later on, and you can't quite figure out what you did wrong, but for the most part though, the platforming's relatively solid. It's I mean, awesome. You could tell it may have been a little early. It was very buggy at first, but I'm doing this after they've patched it and stuff, and it's relatively solid now.
I think it's available on a lot of platforms too, right? Or is it just Steam?
I don't know. I'm playing it on Steam. Okay. They gave us a code for Steam. It's not on Switch. I know that.
Okay, so maybe it's only on Steam for the moment.
I think it's maybe PS5 and Steam.
Okay, all right.
Because but I know they were saying, like, people were asking, and there's like, can you just enjoy this game as it is right now? Well, let us get the Switch version later if we can. Like, can we just chill for a minute? We got the game out. Great game. So
yeah, awesome. Cookie cutter.
Yeah.
And that is it for today, actually.
Yeah.
Got this sucker out in 48 minutes.
Yeah, I was going to talk about some VR stuff, but we can always save that.
We'll save that for the next time. Yeah. That way, it's a Saturday night. It's all right for a fight, and I'm going to go fight this coffee and enjoy some more gaming.
The calm before the storm for you tomorrow.
Football. Yeah, I got my nephew's got me the Detroit Lions Pop It, so I got to be Detroit.
You make sure to get the little people that I sent you for Christmas, right?
Yeah, I have them. They're over on the shelf over here, so they're gonna be spread out on the table tomorrow, all holding different chips, because we're gonna have chips and stuff as my brother.
I'm free. I don't have to waste another Sunday for a little while, so.
Nice.
The stress is gone.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, your coach is gone. Your stress is gone. Yeah. Everything's gone.
It's very rare to. It's like the bell. It's like, oh yeah, let's fire a coach after a winning season. Cool.
Yeah, right. Seattle. Anyways, JJ, thank you very much for sharing your wonderful evening with us. I pulled you out of out of a winter hibernation for this wonderful
Yeah.
Saturday night. You will find us. First of all, you can find us at SideQuesting.com in the SideQuesting Discord, SideQuesting TV on Twitch and YouTube. Please subscribe, and then if there's ratings somewhere, rate if you can like whatever. There's dust in the house.
You know, nowadays, if you tell people, like, if you're watching a YouTube video and they say click the subscribe button, it makes the subscribe button blink and shine and stuff. That's a new feature that they can do. So I'm just saying, click the subscribe button if you're watching this on YouTube. If that works or not, I don't know, but I want you to
click the subscribe button. Is it click the subscribe button? That's what he said. No, I'll have to remind people to click the subscribe button. No, you will be able to find us at PAX East coming up here. We've there's like 5 of us on the team going, which will be a blast. We got a bunch of things that we're lining up that hopefully we'll be able to start revealing some news on the panel and on our annual event and something else. And they have to unsubscribe just to resubscribe. I like it.
I'm sure it's a metric that's counted in some way.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, you'll find us in a bunch of places, and that's coming up in March. So I'm excited to book my flight. Good times. But until then, you can find us in the Discord, where we truly appreciate chatting and having a time with all of our friends and family. So join us there. With that said, JJ, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you to all our beautiful listeners and viewers, and we'll see you on the next episode of
The Side Quest.